thought there were some times this morning where you looked really quick. How did it feel out there?
It felt pretty decent. I had a good P1. Generally felt good. I just didn't get a lap in, and then same thing in P2. We improved the car in P2, and I was, feeling strong in Sector 1, same as I was in P1. But yellow flags and the red flags just got in the way, unfortunately. So, but everyone's in the same boat. But I got some good learnings out there, and I'm excited for tomorrow.
In terms of trying to get a feel for the car early doors, did you feel like you could push it quite early, or were the conditions a little bit tricky early?
In P1?
Yeah, P1.
It was very slippery. Yeah, very, very slippery. But the track ramped up quite quick, and hope it's dry tomorrow. We'll see. Obviously, very, very cold. But we've got a good crowd here. I should have done some water bottles for this, hot water bottles for people. I don't know if they have those things over here. But I'm excited to. We probably won't make many changes tonight because I'm happy
really in the end.
Yeah, I think honestly we are not in a bad place, but we need to wait and see. I think the Mercedes is very strong, and some obviously McLaren and Red Bull are also in the fight, so it's going to be. I think it's going to be tight. I just hope we can build from now and be in the fight for pole tomorrow. But it's been a positive Friday. I think the pace was strong today.
Can a driver be the face of an entire team's resilience? In the heart of Las Vegas, Lewis Hamilton didn't just drive a car. He led a quiet revolution at Ferrari. Today I'll tell you how he did it. In the rarefied atmosphere of the Las Vegas paddock, with the press looking for sparks and the team still adjusting their strategy for one of the most complex routes on the calendar, Lewis Hamilton appeared. What he did was not a defense. It was a reconstruction. A reconfiguration of the message that came from the top of Ferrari's organizational chart. And he did it without raising his voice, without falling into provocations, without generating more cracks. He did it with emotional intelligence and clarity of purpose. Hamilton began with the most unexpected, defusing the bomb. He confirmed that he has frequent contact with John Elkann, the same man whose words had ignited the media storm. "We talk several times a week," he confessed. Not as an excuse, but as a demonstration of a relationship built on dialogue, not hierarchy. With that, the British offered the world a different reading. There is no conflict if there is communication. There is no betrayal if there is mutual trust. The next thing was even more powerful. Hamilton did not hide behind that personal relationship to avoid the issue. It was direct, but instead of fighting back, he assumed. He took his part, everyone's, and turned it into a manifesto of unity. We all have to take responsibility. Absolutely everyone. What seemed like a response to criticism became an invitation to co-responsibility. It was no longer a question of guilt. It was a matter of commitment. The phrase that really made the difference was the one that dismantled the media narrative of the moment. "I don't feel like there is a culture of blame here." With that statement, Hamilton not only protected the team in the public eye, but also made it clear that internally Ferrari was still united. That external noise was not going to contaminate the internal dynamics. That the most experienced driver in the paddock was willing to put his face, his voice and his reputation as a shield for his people. And that's exactly what he did. Instead of further cracking internal relationships, Lewis placed a bridge where everyone saw an abyss. It didn't matter if he was behind Leclerc on the track in free practice. It didn't matter if he was still finding his groove within SF25. What mattered was the message. One that engineers, mechanics, strategists and fans could hear clearly: Ferrari is united. And as long as I'm here, no one is going to break it from the outside. That moment, in the middle of a press conference full of expectations and tension, was more than a press statement. It was leadership in its purest form. Hamilton showed that in today's Formula One, the champion is not just the one who wins races. He is the one who knows when to speak, how to speak and for whom to speak. Las Vegas wasn't just another date on the calendar. It was the perfect setting for Ferrari's internal fissures to become visible, or for a philosophy to be reaffirmed. In the midst of media pressure, the technical demands of one of the most extreme routes on the calendar, and with the ghost of the double abandonment of Brazil still fresh in the team's memory, the message that Lewis Hamilton constructed was more than timely. It was necessary. And it was surgical. Each word of his weaved a narrative contrary to what the headlines sought to impose. Where the media wanted conflict, Hamilton offered cohesion. Where guilt was pointed out, he offered co-responsibility. And that resonated deeply not only in the corridors of Ferrari's hospitality, but also in the neighboring garages. because what was being seen was not common in Formula One. It was leadership against the current. Not from those who impose themselves, but from those who inspire. That phrase that he firmly repeated, "We all have to take responsibility. Absolutely everyone," transcended the anecdotal. It was a redefinition of we in an environment where I usually reigns. It came from a driver who, in other stages of his career, did not hesitate to point out technical or strategic failures. But at Ferrari with this project, Hamilton was building something bigger than one season. I was building culture. Because the pressure didn't just come from Elkan. It came from the environment. From the analysts who were already beginning to doubt the coupling between the British and the red car. From the press that put a magnifying glass on every word, every gesture, every thousandth of a second on the track. And of course from Hamilton's own legacy, which does not allow truces or transition stages. He knows it. He's sorry. And yet, he decided to absorb that pressure, redirect it and transform it into a call for internal cohesion. Most revealing of all was the tone. There was no sarcasm. There was no irony. There was no forced diplomacy. There was authenticity. An authenticity that became contagious. Because on the Ferrari wall, on the pit wall at the Maranello factory, they knew that what their star driver was saying had direct implications for the team's morale. It was not a simple statement to appease the press. It was an emotional strategy. And probably the most important of the weekend. In a sport so marked by margins, by efficiency, by surgical perfection, the human factor continues to be decisive. And Hamilton more than ever understood it. Las Vegas was the acid test. The situation called for fracture. He offered unity. He asked for excuses. He offered leadership. He asked for culprits. He offered common purpose. In a sport of thousands, what Lewis Hamilton did in Las Vegas is not measured in stopwatches. It is measured in legacy. The urban layout of Las Vegas is not just a light show. It is a litmus test for any team that seeks to dominate it. Ferrari knew it. Therefore, what happened on the track during the free sessions cannot be analyzed without first understanding the philosophy that the Italian team implemented for this event. Las Vegas, more than a Grand Prix, was the most demanding laboratory for the SF25. Ferrari arrived in the desert with a risky strategy. There was no room for lukewarmness. The choice was clear: go to the limit of what was possible. The team opted for an aerodynamic package inspired by Monza, but with specific adaptations for the Las Vegas Strip, a stretch where cars reach speeds of around 350 km per hour. The trimmed rear wing, almost minimal, responded to a single objective: top speed. The car had to fly straight, regardless of the compromises and slow corners. But this choice was not simply bold. It was also a direct response to what Hamilton had asked for since his arrival. A car that can adapt to the driver, not the other way around. And in Las Vegas, Ferrari tried it. They implemented two variants of the same wing, an ultra-low one for qualifying stints and another intermediate one for race conditions. The strategic flexibility was total, but so was the margin of error. A thermal imbalance or a failed calculation could spell disaster. During FP1, the experiment seemed to bear half fruit. Leclerc led the table with a promising time, while Hamilton still struggled with the balance of the car. But far from being an indicator of internal conflict, this showed a technical truth. The SF25 requires surgical precision to operate in its optimal window. And in Las Vegas, that window was as narrow as a tossed coin. In FP2, the outlook was adjusted. Hamilton climbed positions, shortened distances, but not without effort. The track, cold by nature and treacherous by design, made it difficult to warm up the tires, especially with soft compounds. The temperatures were so low that they forced the drivers to modify their starting laps so as not to compromise grip on the fastest lap. As Antonino Mazzola, a former Maranello tire engineer, explained, the risks were high. Pushing too hard on the exit lap could destroy the tire's surface, but not doing so left the compound outside the ideal thermal window. And therein lay Ferrari's challenge. His SF25 was optimized to shine in a straight line, but every curve on the route forced him to make extreme decisions. More than a perfect lap, surgical pace management was needed. Hamilton knew it. That's why his progress between FP1 and FP2 was not a question of speed, but of understanding the car. Adaptation, reading, constant feedback between pilot and engineers. And that, on a weekend of so much emotional tension, is invaluable. What happened in Las Vegas was not just a technical test. It was a sign of strategic maturity. Ferrari was not just playing for points, credibility was at stake, and he did it by innovating, betting, adjusting. In that sense, the SF25 didn't just run. He put himself under the microscope of the world. And his response was as forceful as it was imperfect. But, at the end of the day, deeply revealing. What happened in Las Vegas was much more than a press conference prior to a Grand Prix. It was the crystallization of a philosophy that is not written on paper, nor measured in chronometers, but that defines the DNA of a Formula One team. At the center of it all, Lewis Hamilton did not act as just another media figure. It acted as a catalyst, like a silent architect of culture, as the human pillar in a structure dominated by engineering. Let me know in the comments what you think about all this.